Hello and welcome to Follow Everton. I am Ryan, the channel host, and today we're talking about Everton. The breaking news is that we are signing Leeds United's English winger. He's not an England international that I'm aware of. The 26-year-old attacker on loan with an option to buy. He's undergoing a medical today and could be unveiled tonight or tomorrow. And so this video is just to give you that news and to get your thoughts on the potential signing and to give you a little bit more information on that. Now, Jack Harrison, he's currently injured. He's been out since, the end of last season. He was playing through a hip injury, the pain of a hip injury. And so he's not actually made a return since. I think the update in July was that it was the hip injury keeping him out. Still not returned to training. So whilst we absolutely need a player, in my opinion, of his quality and calibre, he is injured. And he's not due back till probably September. And even then, what condition is he going to be in, without a pre-season? But on the other hand, it's a long season, a very long season. And I think with that in mind, he'll definitely have a big part to play. Personally, having watched him, I think he's an ideal replacement for someone like Andros Townsend. He's got a very good left foot, can play on the right, can cut in and shoot, can play on the left and whip good balls in. I think he's a versatile player as well who could possibly play behind a striker. And in terms of what he will bring, aside from that, I think he'll definitely add goals and assists to Everton. His record, I believe, was 5 goals last season in the Premier League, and Leeds obviously struggled, but attacking going forward, they were quite solid. I'll just get his other statistics up. Before that, he was in the Premier League for the other 2 seasons, Leeds, before they got relegated. Scored 8 goals in 35 games in 2021-2022. Scored 8 goals in 36 games in 2020-21. So, he's developed into a good winger with so decent productive figures. I'm not quite sure whether he's played every single minute in those seasons, but nevertheless, it's still better than what Damari Gray has been posting and what other players have been posting. And I think you've got to have options. You've got to have players like not bloody Townsend, he's gone. Got to have players like Jack Harrison there as part of a squad, and you need different options. Not that this would impact any pursuit of Gnonto, because he's a completely different player. Gnonto goes past players for fun. But, Jack Harrison's got a lot of composure and quality, and I think he'll be a good signing for us. As I say, hit double figures, actually, in all competitions for Leeds in 2021, 2022. And last season, it wasn't his best year. He wasn't always in the team, and I think because Leeds have always got a lot of attacking players. But when he did come in towards the end of it, he was effective. Now you could argue again, why are we signing another left winger? Really, he is more of a left winger, but he's quite similar to McNeil, I think. So you could argue that's we need more of a natural right winger, but I think I would disagree with that statement and say that we've got to have options. You've got to have multiple players in every position. It's a Carlo Ancelotti fucking advert playing while I'm reading this thing. That's hilarious. You've got to have options. You've got to have wingers. You've got to have plenty of them. They're the most inconsistent people on the pitch normally, and so you've got to have more than one for every position. I think you'd have McNeil, Iwobi, Harrison, Danjuma. So there's 4 there, and they're flexible. They can play in different positions. And then you're looking at Gnonto as well with Gray going. I think we've got a good foundations there. I just want to see how many assists he got last season and the season before. He's born in Stoke, so probably quite like the fact that it's not too far from where he was from. He's obviously played for Man City. He's played for New York City as well. Middlesbrough, I think it was. Right, where are these statistics? 2022, 2023. I mean, you can't argue with that. 5 goals and 7 assists last season in 2,700 minutes. So let's divide that by 90. 2,700 minutes approximately divided by 90. He played 30 full games and scored 5 times and got 7 assists. It's a good record. You can't argue with that. And then let's look for if you can get him fit, if you can get him back from injury and up to speed. This is very good. So this says where he played, what position in every fixture. Last season, he played a lot of times on the left wing, sometimes on the right wing, sometimes attacking midfield, sometimes left midfield. He played once in centre mid, left wing, right wing. He's played absolutely everywhere, and those were the stats. And then 2021, 2022, similar amount of minutes, not as many assists, interestingly enough. 1 assist and 8 goals. And he played the entire season left wing, according to this. Once at left back away at Brentford, but at home to Brentford it was actually. But yeah, he played that entire season as a left winger and only got 1 assist. That's interesting. I'd be intrigued to see whether he gets more assists in the games that he plays right-sided midfield. I'm just looking now. No, there's not really any correlation to it, but he's a bit of a form player. You can see he has little spells where he's productive and then doesn't do anything. Like the start of last season, 2022-23, he got 3 assists and 1 goal in the first 3 games and didn't do anything for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. He didn't get a goal or an assist. And then he got an assist away at West Ham, then didn't do anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. And then there's a little spell, Southampton, Brighton, Wolves, Nottingham Forest, in a run of 6 games where he got a bit of form. I mean, this is what you've got to have. You've got to have options, haven't you? There's lots of twos and throws. I think generally this is a positive. I'll come to the comments in a minute. I can see they're all there. I'm just going to go back further. Just look at the other season in the Premier League. This was really productive, and I think he was getting touted for some really big fees at this point. Can't remember who he was linked with, but he was definitely linked with a big move. Was it Arsenal? 8 Premier League goals, 8 assists in the same amount of minutes. He played predominantly left wing, a couple of times on the right, and he was getting goals and assists on a bit more of a consistent basis there as well. So there's a pedigree there of, you know, a proven Premier League player, you could say. Jack Harrison, and the transfer market value is about £20 million. So I hope, you know, if he comes in on loan, it's not just to fund. It's not just to fund, just while Leeds try and get promoted back to the Prem, and then we give them back, and he goes back to Leeds. I hope that we've got an option to buy here. I'd be looking to pay around 15 million for him. If they like to have Neil Maupay or Damari Gray or Tom Cannon as part of the deal, then by all means, we should be looking to try and do that. No, we shouldn't actually be looking to do that because it's a loan with a buy option. But if they would be interested in taking any of those players, they're more than welcome to have a look at them. Right, guys, I'm gonna look at the comments. It's not a long one because I'm tired and I'm not 100% today. Hi to Kevin in the comments. PTC. It's an Everton thing to do to try and sign an injured player. Yeah. I think they'll look at it when they're doing the medical. They'll look at everything apart from the hip because they know the hip is injured. But Peter's right. We've got to have someone who can play right wing. You can't be playing James Garner right wing constantly. He was okay, but he got caught up position too high up the pitch for that goal yesterday for Fulham. Although the rest of his performance, in fairness, actually was very, very solid. He should have scored if Doucouré had passed the ball. We're paying his wages. Yes, I've got no problem with that. What do you expect? We need a keeper. Why? We need a healthy winger. It is what it is. I think this deal would have been done ages ago, and I think we were linked with him in July, but then the injury was just, I think it was exasperated, and so we pulled out of that. He won't be on silly wages, but he won't be on cheap wages. It'll be about 60, 70k a week. I think it was just clickbait shite, wasn't it? It was just to try and get people to go on. I'm not going to name them because that is exactly what they want. People to click on their website. I believe there is interest there. There has been for a long time, but to say we were, in advanced talks of a loan for Udinese's best player, I'd be very surprised. It depends, Emma, whether we see Onana against Sporting or we see the Onana against Fulham. He wasn't by all means bad yesterday. I mean, we created the most chances I've ever seen us create under Sean Dyche and possibly for 2 seasons. And if we had one competent forward who could finish, we'd have won that. They'd have got a hat-trick probably. But that's the same. Maupay did work hard and got in good positions, but his confidence and the pressure on him is just unbearable. And we either keep him and we use him as a second striker, someone who drops off and links play, or we sell him, move him on, and for everyone's sanity. But he's not the first striker to really crumble here. It's a common occurrence. Got a guest coming in a set just to give us some thoughts on Jack Harrison. I'm hoping he knows a little bit about Jack Harrison. As this was the result of... What's this referring to? Was that Jack Harrison? He didn't have a striker in front of him at one point. Emma's saying, let's go all out for Lukaku. Let's bring in Robbie on that one. Robbie, hi. Would you go for? Would you be tempted for a little loan for Lukaku, or is that just beyond the realms of?
It's never going to happen. You know my views on this, Ryan. They're all mercenaries. Nobody wants to come for the love of a club anymore. It's just. But if you're a millionaire, they want to be a zillionaire, don't they? That's just the way it is. There's no more Alan Balls, Howard Kendalls, Colin Harveys, Bob Latchford's, Davy Thomas. Those days are gone. It's
Robbie,
literally.
Can I be honest with you?
Go on.
I actually don't really care whether they're mercenaries as long as they're good for us. They can have whatever money they want. I just feel like the last 2 seasons are now merging into this season already. Or even though the style of play and the football was good yesterday, it's that sort of deflation and the lack of excitement that you get with not having, the players to bag goals. And football's all about scoring goals, and that's where you get your enjoyment from. So I'm happy to have Lukaku if he's a complete mercenary, as long as he does well for us.
Yeah, but Ryan, you're not just dealing with the players these days. You're dealing with the agents. It's not like the old days where you could go straight to the player and go, "Come on, give us another season, give us a couple of games." You don't get to the player anymore.
I think there's tapping up going on all the time.
It doesn't appear any much tap. Not much tapping up.
They've agreed a deal with Nonto, haven't they? 5 years contract, and we've not had a bid accepted. So there's definitely agents speaking to clubs before they've got permission to do that.
Yeah, I mean, is Lukaku one of them players where he goes, yeah, do you know what? I did really like it at Everton. Yeah, do you know what? Go back. I don't have to earn £350,000 a week. I'll just earn whatever they're offering me. Those days are gone, Ryan.
The thing is, with someone like Lukaku, he's probably got a lot of money. He was on mega wages at Man United, mega wages at Chelsea. He's earned his millions, and he's now becoming a bit of a ridiculed figure, Lukaku. Various, a bit of a laughing stock in a way. And the only place he really was found home was Inter Milan first season, and Everton. The fans loved him, even though he didn't press and work hard. But he backed 25 goals, so he is what he is. Maybe he would consider coming back and trying to build his reputation and back up. I don't know.
Well, are we linked with Lukaku again, along with another 150 players from last week?
No, quite literally, just Emma in the comments there saying we should go all
Oh,
out for Lukaku. But it
yeah,
would make,
it'd be nice. It'd be nice, but it's just a dream. I think that ship sailed, unfortunately.
yeah.
I'm a realist.
One ship that hasn't sailed, Robbie, is Jack Harrison. So, what are your thoughts?
I didn't see too much of him last season because, as I said on the last stream with you, Ryan, I don't really concentrate on the other clubs. I thought we with Leeds trying to have us off and report us to the FA and every other FA at the end of the season because they wanted us fast tracking, so that obviously they didn't go down. We would have had points deducted. That's clearly why maybe are we saying Gnotto or Notto? What, maybe that's why he hasn't come to Everton, because if they've reported us and they're mixing us a bottle, they're not going to want to do business with us. So it's but now he's come out. Supposedly he didn't want to come last week, and now he supposedly wants to come, depending on who you believe. Jack Harrison, he looked decent on the games I saw on. I only saw him on Match of the Day because I don't watch Leeds on any streams. He looked useful. He looked useful. It's so Winger. Yeah, I'm clearly thinking that Sean Dyche and Thelwell want to bring him in because Gray's pushing the buttons saying, "Come on, when am I going? When am I going?" So that's all I can think that one's about.
Robbie, I don't watch Leeds week in, week out, but towards the end of last season, certainly last 3 months, I did religiously watch a lot of the games of the teams that we needed to go down, and Harrison didn't start every game, but he always looked a threat. I always excuse me, I felt the same about not Gnonto as well. He would run past players for fun. He looked so quick feet, getting fouled left, right, and centre. And the two of them, they needed a striker to get on the end of the deliveries and the quality. And I think Everton haven't got one of them. But I suppose the two wingers will bring in a supply that we don't currently have, or you could argue we do have, but they need supplementing. And I think I'd be happy with Jack Harrison signing. You're not expected to watch Leeds week in, week out, but he's a good player. He is a good player.
Yeah, he could do us a good job.
Just going to go back to the comments. It's going to be a short one because I'm still very unwell. Emma Davies saying, proven yesterday, not one natural finisher in the team. Even DCL doesn't score as much as he should. Granted, we were better with him in the team. Peter saying, I wouldn't have Lukaku because he wouldn't be able to capitalise and he doesn't work hard. Emma is saying he's a fraud. Kevin is saying, is Jack Harrison a right winger? No, he's a left winger who can play on the right. Peter, sorry. The Onana is a holding midfielder who's expected to be Yaya Toure. What do you make of this, Robbie?
Just give us that one again.
Onana is a holding midfielder who's expected to be Yaya Toure.
I mean, again, it's like the young lad Youssef Chimitri we've just signed from Sporting Lisbon. They're only young, aren't they? Onana, I see potential there. Obviously, I've watched him for Belgium, and it's like, wow, he puts his foot on the ball, and it's like he's amazing. Can't say I've seen that for Everton yet. Plenty of potential. Would I sell him? I've thought about this one. You want to build a team around him. I still think we're a selling club, and I still think there's going to be some movement out the door as well as Gray between now and the end of the season.
We're not a selling club, Robbie, because we've got no one to sell and no one wants to buy any of them.
Yeah. I think Iwobi and Onana's worth 60 million because he's got potential. So that's like, I mean, even with add-ons, like 48 million plus 12 million pound add-ons, he's a sellable asset. Do we want to sell him? Not necessarily. But I think we've got to sell to buy.
If you keep him 12 months and he has a good season, he's a £90 million player.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
But there's
just
a
the way
few,
this market is. It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
But Man U, I think, is sniffing around, aren't they? Man U, who haven't got any money, by the way. It's quite interesting. I just don't see. I see a couple of loans coming in again, but Iwobi's contract is up next season, isn't
Yeah, I think we'll worry about that then. By the looks of it, that's what we're doing. With Dan Juma as well. Let's have him on a year and worry about all the rest of it later. We don't actually own any of these players, and we've got loads more coming out of contract. It's a little bit scary. There's lots of comments coming in. I appreciate that. Lukaku's being linked with Spurs. People saying they can't have Lukaku in this team. This is it. We can get Jack Harrison because he has a clause. They can't refuse us like they did with Nonto. Love that. Do you reckon we're just because we've been rejected for Nonto, we're trying to get our own back on Leeds by just plucking Harrison off them without them?
Oh, yeah. The fans like him as well. I've got a few buddies who have met on holiday over the years. They're Leeds fans. They really rate him.
D-Pay. Keep worshipping them overpaid grown-ass men while your city rots around you and your children. The city of Liverpool is a ghetto, and the men of the city care more and worship at the game as the city is imploding. Right. Mate, I think you might be on the wrong show. This is not BBC Merseyside. Oh. Link with Kaya Walker-Peters. Dyche fed up with Patterson already. Where did you read this, Peter? He's not a bad player actually, but Coleman's coming back. So if you're doing that, why have you given Coleman a new contract? Have you got someone having a piano lesson in your house?
Who, me?
Yeah. Who else?
Yeah, I used to own a piano. I'm quite good on the piano, but just got me fingers now.
What's that background noise?
That's me chill out music in the gym.
Oh, okay. You wouldn't think we're trying to do a professional production here.
Give me 1 second, switch it off.
It's all, Robbie, mate, honestly, we're only on for fat. Oh, he's gone. I don't know. My computer's just messed up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, fine.
We're still playing that bloody timer long after I stopped it. Just looking at these comments here. Chris is saying, as long as we don't poach any defenders from Foxes and Leeds, I can stomach it. The defence is the reason they both went down. I agree. Peter's saying he'd take 12 million for Iwobi right now. I thought he was very good yesterday, but he should have scored. Nothing to say on that?
You know, he's decent, but he's not like prolific. 12 million, yeah, Peter. I think I'd take 12 million for him as well. Just hit and miss. It's like, I don't want to use the term headless chicken. We've had quite a few of them over the years, haven't we? But there's no end product, is there? It's like, and I say there's no end product because there's no one at the end of it. Because when we're up, as soon as I saw the team sheet yesterday 4-5-1 and who was up front, look, I don't want to disrespect Neil Maupay. The fella's a millionaire. Is he a striker or is he a 4-4-2 player? I'm not too sure, but again, a bit of blame's going to be.
Did you hear about the personal abuse that he'd been getting?
Yeah, that's bad. That should not happen. I mean, you know, we've already had a bad press with Anthony Gordon and chasing him down the street and the road and whatever. We've got to keep things clean like that if we're wanting people to come in, because the press and the agents will get hold of that and go, no, I'd give them, I'd swerve them at the moment.
Well,
yeah.
Phil McNulty has already retweeted that.
Yeah,
The chief sports writer of the BBC.
we don't want that. It's
disgraceful, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not good enough, and actually giving someone personal abuse are two separate things. And there's kind of you don't mix the two of them.
Yeah, but these individuals, Ryan, they don't come out and they hide behind the social media, don't they? You know, they're in the living room, in the kitchen, in the bathroom, whatever, just dishing it out. That's the poor side of social media. It's not like professional, like the setup that you've got, where we can literally talk about the pluses and the minuses and what you think. This is that takes it to another level. Disgusting.
And the sad thing about Neil Maupay is, yesterday's performance, he actually made really good runs, worked very hard, got in positions to score a couple of times, and he couldn't find the finish. And I think the pressure and the weight of having that responsibility on his shoulders is obviously getting to him. I believe that if the pressure was taken off him because we had other forwards and he was then coming on to contribute without that pressure, I think he'd be a completely different player.
Yeah,
he probably does it all week in training, and then the minute he gets on the pitch, it's just too much. But he's not the first Everton striker to crumble under that pressure. I mean, you saw it with Cenk Tosun, Rondon. None of them can do it. You know, we're not good with strikers, are we? Really? We have very few that turn out to be any good. Yeah,
in recent years, it's been quite poor, and that's why all the frustrations now. I was hoping, the 3 points yesterday, as I had said on my little Facebook site with the Everton site, it puts us top 3 in the league. Whereas we play Aston Villa next week, so kind of the pressure's on because we're away from home. I know we're talking about next week's game, but the pressure's on already, and we wanted a little bit of confidence. Like I said, the chances were there yesterday, but what have we been looking for the past X amount of years? We need someone at the end of those crosses and those through balls to just go have a bit of that, like most of the other teams.
You've got a blue top on. Maybe you should get down there now and apply for that role, because you get a clean head on the ball. Yeah,
the oldest striker in town.
Yeah. Ashley Young's can still do it. Why can't you?
Yeah.
There's so many comments coming in, and the sad reality is, unfortunately, I'm really struggling right now because I'm just not well enough to be sat here. But what I will let you know is that I believe there is another stream later with Jonathan Roskin and with Basil and Robbie. If you're about later and you've got nothing better to do, I can send you the link as well, and you can join.
By all means.
All people watching, and I feel really guilty because it's like brain cannot look at screen, and I've got these lights surrounding me. I've got one here. Got one here, I've got one here in front of me, and I'm like, oh, need to sleep.
Go and have a Nurofen and a paracetamol, my friend. It'll do you the world of good.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Robbie. I'm going to leave you on the screen for 2 minutes. I'm going to stick these comments up one by one.
Yeah.
You won't enjoy us.
Fine.
Let's see how he gets on for 2 minutes on his own. This is his trial to see.
Let's go and where's me glasses? Bear with me. Put me glasses on, or I'm not going to see any of the comments. The Blues. Jack Grealish is a wide player. They've got about 4 goals, and he's just won a treble. Don't tell me he's not a good player because of his goal return. I mean, Jack Grealish, he wasn't doing the business at Man City when he first went because they weren't playing him, were they? But seems to be doing the business now. But I think even Neil Maupay would score playing for Man City, to be perfectly honest with you. The goals just come. Chris, curious how much more we can spend on wages a year. £100,000 a week is equivalent to 5.2 million a year. So free loan signings help discount the wage bill. Yeah, I mean, like I say, Chris, we've bought a Harrods in the past and it didn't work out for us, did it? So we're kind of we're shopping at Aldi now and Lidl. You can get some bargains in Aldi and Lidl, but maybe we have to look in the charity shop as well from time to time. Wormy Spoons, if Richarlison got 10 goal involvements, everyone would say bad season for Rishi, but McNeil and Iwobi and Gray aren't a patch on that, and yet people want to say they are good. Yeah, we all adored Rishi, didn't we? It was kind of, it was a little, if I say, it was a little bit of hero status purely for his enthusiasm. So, but again, he's gone now, hasn't he? We've got Gray and Iwobi, what, couple of goals a season.
What do you think of the you did well there. What do you think of the Damari Gray situation then? Because they've gone. He's now, he's not part of the squad, and Traore, the Wolves ex-Wolves winger, who was on loan at Barcelona last season, he's now signed for Fulham on a free transfer. I mean, Fulham look well stocked on the wings, and it's clear what Fulham like to do. They like to pass it around in triangles around your wingers and your own fullbacks, get in behind you, and then pass it across. That's what they do. It's classic Marco Silva. Traore will add to that, but they're not going to need Damari Gray now. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do with that situation? Do we reintegrate Damari Gray, or is his head's completely gone now? So
yeah, we've seen this before. If your head's gone, obviously the manager knows this in training, doesn't he? So it's kind of like, it's a bit like the Leeds scenario with the young lad. I say Gonotto because I don't know how to spell his surname. He's thrown his teddy out, hasn't he? Because that's the way it is now, isn't it? I want to go. So
well, Euros are next summer, Rob.
Yeah,
and he's already in the Italian setup. So
yeah, he's a cracking little player. He is, absolutely. I mean, wonderful low centre of gravity, and that ball just sticks to his feet. I see him as a 21st century Dave Thomas, because he had exactly the same skills. That's how I'm going to like him too, because I remember those days. Gray, there's going to be a couple of clubs coming in for Gray, but if that was you or I, Ryan, would be saying, I'll tell you what, I'm playing because I love you. You're my club. I've got a contract with you. I'll play until it's time. You bring someone else in. I just can't stand this selfishness of I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you. You know.
It's because he doesn't want to get injured.
Yeah, I don't see any excuses. We're paying his wages, so he should be available. I can't abide this the way it is now. Like I say, I go back many years, and when you see it now, it's painful.
Guys, there's been hundreds of comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. As you can see, I am not well. You can physically look at me. I actually didn't go the match yesterday, as people who joined me for the pre-match show will know. I sold my ticket and watched it at home. This is me, who I own an Everton channel, and I'm not even going the match. I'm not doing very well at the moment. So I'm going to love and leave you. Robbie, you've been a star. I believe Jonathan Roskin and Basil will be on later. Robbie, please join them on that if you've got nothing to do, because there'll be a lot. They'll have a lot more to ask and a lot more to talk about, and they'll get through the comments. And I think they're really going to reflect on yesterday, look at the transfers as a whole, and look ahead to the Aston Villa game. I wanted to come on and speak about Jack Harrison. He's signing on a loan with an option for a permanent deal. Robbie, it's good business, isn't it? We need players. The record, I don't know if you heard, 8 assists, 8 goals in his first season for Leeds in the Prem, 8 goals, 1 assist in his second season, but didn't have a striker really to aim for. And then last season, 5 goals and 8 assists. These are really solid figures. He plays an average of the equivalent of 30 games in terms of 90 minutes. So he's going to add something, isn't he, Robbie? And we should be excited about this signing.
Yeah, come on board, Jack. We'll all love you.
Thank you. Right, guys. I'm going to go and have 2 paracetamol, 2 ibuprofen, stick my eye mask on, and have a lie down. And hopefully John and David will get live soon so I can have a little listen. Rob, thank you so much, buddy.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.
See you, Ryan. Get well soon.
Thank you.